Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading Channel with Charlie B. So what are we up to today? Well, I am going to be making crabapple syrup. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this new pot before I start that. I'm going to cook this down slowly on the wood cook stove. And this is a pot. And what's different about it, it says clam broth on it. So yes, I guess somebody used to use this to make broth. I found it at a flea market and I decided to buy it. It works just fine. It's not perfect, but it's really nice. It has a lid that sits on it. And whenever I make my syrup, I can just pour it right out of here and not have to worry about scooping it or anything until the very end. So we're gonna get this on here and we'll be back. New pot, I love new equipment. We have been cooking down this crabapple juice for about 20 hours, and it has went from what I started off with. I know I had at least 1.5 gallons. It has definitely decreased, but I'd rather have a little bit of the syrup and more of the taste. So I'm going to show you how much we have. I'm going to just carry you along. Hopefully you will be able to see that. I'm going to put the lid back on and I'm going to take this out to the other kitchen where I have more cabinets and I'm going to measure out how much we actually have. Got the pot out here in the kitchen. Some more cabinets, a little bit more room. So we're going to take this off. Give this another stir. And I'm going to open up this little spout here and see just how much juice we have left. Ooh, that's hot. Hopefully I can get it open. Okay. It's going to take us a good old time because we don't have much juice in here. Okay, I just moved you to pour you in the sink so I didn't have to hold the syrup container. Just going to turn it off. I also have the pot tilted so it can pour out easier and I'm not standing there waiting for it. Okay, so I ended up with 8 cups in this one and 3 cups in this one. So I'm going to shut this up and I'm going to pour this back into the container. And it's going to go back on the stove for me to actually add sugar to it. So I ended up with a total of 11 cups. It's pretty thick already. It's got a good crabapple taste. It's a little tartness, so I honestly do not want to add too much sugar. Now I read some recipes that say 1 cup of sugar per 2 cups of juice. So half and half. Or not half and half. I guess it would be 1/4. So we will see. That would be like if you had 4 cups, we would end up putting in, if we had 4 cups of juice, we would put in 2 cups of sugar. But we're going to see, because I don't want to make this taste like jam. I'm going to get this loaded back up and put it on the wood cook stove. Okay, we've got the pot back on the wood cook stove, and I've decided I'm going to use, for 11 cups of the crabapple juice, I'm going to only use 4 cups of sugar to start off with. I'm just going to slowly add this and start to get it to dissolve. I'm gonna not lie to you, it's getting rather hot in my house. 76 degrees and it's heading close to 60 outside, so I'm probably going to end up taking this out to my gas stove and turning off this wood cook stove because it's just getting too hot in here. And I can do that because, hey, I don't have to cook on the wood cook stove. I just enjoy it. So this is about 1/3 the amount of sugar to juice. Give that a moment to dissolve. Now remember, I started this off as juice, and if you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and take a look at it. And I also did a video on making jam out of the juice. So, and this is syrup. Now, I know a lot of you think syrup is supposed to be super sweet, but if I want super sweet syrup, I can always use maple syrup. I actually kind of like the tartness on the pancakes because it gives a different flavor, especially when you have a little bit of butter on them. We're just going to let this cook down a little bit and get everything dissolved. And then we're going to taste it and we'll see how it is. Okay, so I was really melting by the wood cook stove, so now I have it out here on the gas stove to finish, and I will also use the steam canner on this. Turned off my wood cook stove so I can clean it out since it's such a beautiful day starting to become. Before I couldn't get hot enough or warm enough, and now I'm melting. So all the sugar is dissolved. I had 11 cups of the crabapple juice, and I used 4 cups of the sugar. And I did cook this down so it was actually getting a little thick by itself. And I don't want this to be thick like jelly, so I'm just going to let this cook, get a good simmer going, a little bit of boil. But first, I am going to taste it. That's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to need to add any more sugar to it. I do not want a sugary jam taste. I want to be able to taste the crabapple juice. Yes, that is perfect. This is just how I would like it on my pancakes. I love the tartness. I love the sweetness. Perfect. Okay, so we'll be back once we get this guy boiling a little bit. Well, not really boiling. Just percolating a little bit. Okay, the timer has went off. It's been 20 minutes, and about 2 minutes before the timer went off, I went out and put a spoon with a little bit of the syrup in the refrigerator just to cool it. Okay, that's what it looks like. Now that's what we're going to do is I'm going to test it. This should be good enough. It's already sticking to the plate. It's not really running. And we want this to run off a little bit. There we go. That should be good syrup. It should be. I know it's sticking to my fingers. It's amazing. Once it's a little bit more at room temperature, other than the 70, almost 80 degrees it is in here. Before it was like 78, and then I started opening up doors and windows to cool it down because, woo, it was getting to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the sink and set it up the same way I did when I was pouring out to measure how much of the syrup that I had gotten after I started cooking it down, or more or less thick crabapple juice. So let me get this set up. We'll be right with you. I got this set up just like I did when I was doing the syrup. I'm going to open it up and let it pour through. I set it up a little bit, and we're not really so much as worried about getting to know exactly how much syrup is in here, but this way I can actually just pour it easier in my cups. Not cups, well, they are cups, jars. These are the ones I'm going to use. They are 8 ounces, but will technically probably hold 7 when you bring it up to the rim. Okay, we're going to let this finish, and I'm going to bring you around so you can see exactly what I'm doing with the glasses. All right, I'm going to go around and get the juice. I'm going to pull out a couple glasses here, the jars. I've got 8 cups here. And let's see if I can do this without making a huge mess. Now, I had read some information about making maple syrup, and I liked their idea of cooking it down. I know some of the recipes, you just more or less made your juice, you didn't cook it down, you just added a lot of sugar to it, and that was their syrup. Well, I didn't want a lot of sugar. If I want a lot of sugar, I'll heat up jam and eat it. So sorry if you're seeing my hands pass in front of you, but that's the breaks. This is actually a lot neater, at least at the moment, than it is when I'm trying to dip it and pour it through funnels and stuff. Okay, let's get some lids on these jars. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some lids on these jars real quick. And how I do it is I take a paper towel with some vinegar on it, and I just wipe off the tops of the jars. Now, today we are going to be using 2 different types of lids. We're going to use the Almighty Ball. That's really hot. And this is, you just set it on there, and you put the lid on it. Oh, that's so hot. And you just make it finger tight. Just like that. And the second type of lid is our Tatler. And now this is a little different. We still wipe our jars off with the vinegar water, or the vinegar on our paper towel. And then we take this, we put the gasket, the seal, on top of the lid. Put this on it, on the jar. You can see right here, see where the lid is. I cannot pack that up, it's just too hot. And then we put the lid on. Now with this, we just want to tighten it so it just spins. It literally spins in its place. So it's not tight, not finger tight, it just sits on there pretty much. So I want to go ahead and get the rest of these filled up, and see ya in a few. Crabapple Syrup into 12 jars. We do have one that's not quite full, but this will be the one I will end up doing a taste test on and putting it in the fridge first, but I am going to put it in the steam canner. So hang with me, I'll get you over there. So this is the bottom part of our steam canner, and it has a shelf that is in there, an insert to put the jelly jars on, or in this case, the syrup jars on. I'm just going to put these in here. And so with the steam canner, we use the same processing time as we would use water bath. However, we only use 2.5 quarts of water and less energy, because it'll take less energy to get this to boil and get the steam going, rather trying to get the water bath canner that is way tall and way big to get it to start to steam and boil. So let me get these jars in here and we'll be back. Okay, the jars are in, the steam canner is on, and then I will set the timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to show you this dough. I did in the hyperlapse, I've done it on different videos, but let's take a look at this. So I'm going to swap you around. Okay, so you see this dark green mark right here at the top. That is our gauge. Okay, so when that hits that dark green line, then we will start timing it. We have hit temperature. So I'm slowly adjusting the flame down on the gas stove so it doesn't get really overly temperature-fied, if that's a word. Okay? We'll be back when this is ready to come out. Now, after the 10 minutes is up, I will let the lid set on it for 5 more minutes. It's part of the cooking process. And then I will open it. Be back. Okay, so the timers went off. It did set for the extra 5 minutes. Let's take the lid off. Remember, when you're having something that's going to have a lot of steam, you want to take the lid off so the steam is away from you in your face. You do not want to burn yourself. And hear them pop already. Oh, there's another one. Okay, one little thing that's a little different with the Tattler lids. I don't know if I've actually went over this with you before, but, or any of the subscribers that have watched my videos, but after these sit and cool for a few minutes, you are supposed to tighten the lids a little bit. Now these have been, like I said, off the heat for 5 minutes, so I'm going to pick these guys up. And please be careful if you would decide to use Tattler and you're doing these. I don't want to see you burn yourself. Let me get another pot holder here. And I'm just going to pick these guys up by the top. I'm going to put them down here, and I'm going to tighten the lid a little bit. That one really didn't even need tightened. I'm going to do the same for this other one too. Oh, they're hot. I'm going to tighten them. Now I'm going to let these guys all sit here and cool for a couple hours until I can pull them out and set them out on the porch. Be back when these guys have completely all sealed, and we will check to see if they are syrupy enough. We are back with the syrup, the Crabapple Syrup. It turned out amazing. I will be honest, I like it better than the jam. I've been using this on butternut squash and a couple different items. I'll see if I have pictures of them, and I will post them along with the video. So now let's get to the taste test, my favorite part of the video. Well, we did end up with 10, and all 10 did seal, and I actually started this to show you what it looked like. Now, I've been tasting it, like I said. This is very thick whenever you leave it in the refrigerator, because I've been eating it, and this is the jar. This was the jar that was only filled to about here. It did seal, so, but I did open it first, and I've been using it. And as you can see, if it's out in room temperature, it's a lot more thin. So, but I don't want to open up another one of these because I'll eat it. And yeah, I've already started giving some of them away. But let's go for the taste test. yeah, I could literally eat the whole jar, but it is thick when it's in the refrigerator. And yeah, I love this. I'm going to have to actually make more of this whenever the crab apples come on again this year. It has a perfect tart taste. I love it. It kind of like how I like my cherry pies to taste. It doesn't have a real sugary or gritty taste whenever something's really sugary that I don't like. This tastes amazing poured over butternut squash, pears, pancakes, and I've actually been eating this more like a jam than a syrup. So I love it. But there you have it. Try it. If you have a crabapple tree or have access to a crabapple tree, pick some, cook them down, and then cook them down more, add some sugar, and you'll have syrup. It was very, very easy to make. And I like I said, I am not upset I made it. This was definitely an item that I will make again and enjoy throughout the fall, winter, summer, spring, every season that there possibly is. My mouth is watering from tasting it because it's that good. Well, but that's enough said. And yeah, I kind of ramble about something I like. But if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, thank you for my subscribers and for my commenters. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Have you tried this? What's your idea? So, okay, well, remember, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you soon. Charlie B, signing out.